In this episode, I asked Jim if he had to train on one thing, what would that be? I was surprised by his answer, and I think you'll really learn a lot about why he answered the way he did. I think you'll enjoy this. Watch it through and leave a comment about what you learned.
How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I am joined by Jim Shorkey. Yes. And Jim, something I find so fascinating is just how we've spent time talking about the importance of connecting with people and the importance of loving the team and loving the customer. If you were to go back, you've done a lot of training over the years. What is the one thing you would train, if you had to train on one thing first? This was the first thing you're going to train on. It was the most important thing you're going to train on. And you had to pick one. What would it be?
Well, it depends on that timeline. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you, the Jim Shorkey Family Auto Group, as we know it today, has been in business since 1974. Mm-hmm. So 50 years. So over that 50 years, 74, 75, 76, we developed a process for how we wanted the client to be sold to.
Yeah.
We called it the sales process. Mm-hmm. And over the years of doing this, we perfected that process to the point that we knew in our hearts, we knew. Waldo talks about this. You can believe in the process or you can know the process. Mm-hmm. Which one's different?
Knowing is different.
Knowing is much more powerful. Knowing. So over the years, we developed this process and fine-tuned it to the point where we had this process in place, and it was A to Z. And we knew that if we brought a young Derek Kelly or an old Derek Kelly into the business and taught him our process, and he proceeded to do our process, he would be successful. The first step in training is to teach the salesperson, male, female, old, young, doesn't matter, teach them the process and train and role play. Get it so ingrained in their brains that came out of their pores when they sweat it. It was just automatic, right? We knew that if we could get that to happen and they executed the process according to our dictates, they would be successful. We had the evidence to prove that. So our goal became teaching the process.
Keep going.
Now in the process, if you want to talk about loving the customer and loving the team, what would be the very best way that we could love the customer and love the team?
Train them on the process.
No. Why is the customer here for the process? Why is the customer here? To buy a car. Mm-hmm. They're here because they want to buy a car. So if we can successfully sell them a car, mm-hmm. isn't that the ultimate way of showing them that we love them?
Yeah.
They came in, want to get a car, and they get a car. They're happy.
Yeah.
The best way we can love the customer is to sell them a car today.
Yeah.
There's no question. Okay, that's what we're here for. What's the best way that we can love the team? The best way we can love our team is to get them to be successful at selling cars.
Great. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Because if they sell cars, they're going to make money. Mm-hmm. If they sell less cars, they're going to make, you fill in the blanks.
Less money.
If they sell more cars, they're going to, you fill in the blanks.
More money.
Okay. So the best way we can serve our team is to teach them how to sell cars and have them effectively sell cars. Mm-hmm. So we're going to, by teaching the process to the salespeople, that is the ultimate way of loving the customer. We know it's going to work, mm-hmm. and loving the team because we know it's going to work. The goal becomes one of keeping them on the process.
Yes.
And when they're successful, what's the number one enemy of any successful enterprise?
Arrogance.
We got to keep them humble.
So that's why in a previous episode, you were talking about the importance of pushing the process.
Oh, heck yeah.
Off camera, we were talking about, oh, but Jim, it's October 31st. I got to meet my quota today.
Do the process.
I need 2.5 or 2 or 3 more sales.
Do the process. Do it better than you've ever done it before on that day. And if nothing else, if you do it really, really good, you may not hit the goal. Mm-hmm. Guess what? You've got some really good prospects for tomorrow. Yep. And guess what tomorrow is?
New day.
And guess what we're going to be wanting to do next month on this new day?
Sell more cars.
hit our quota.
Right.
So if you didn't hit your quota, that's because you didn't do your job on day one. And you're doing your job
Or
on day
day
one.
two, or day-
Doing your job on day one is a result of having done your job on day 31. Let's not forget that, because it's a pipeline. Just because the month's over, customers don't buy cars according to the month. And we have this pipeline.
I don't need car anymore. It's November
We have
1st.
this pipeline of clients that want to buy a car, and October 31st is come and gone, and they still haven't bought a car. Well, we got to call those people. So the better job we did with the process during that window of pipeline, the better chance we're going to have of having a good day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then we just keep doing it. The answer, it goes right back to the strategic continuum. We need to have a good plan, a good strategy, then we need to execute that good strategy at 100%. And so what we say in there is, in the strategic continuum, we need to have at least a B to a B plus strategy. That would be what we would refer to as our process. In my mind, I get a check mark. I think it's probably better than B to B plus, but I know my strategy is good enough that it's going to work in that window, right? Now, if we could really dissect my process and say, you know what, Jim, I've been around the country, around the world, around the universe. Your strategy is definitely an A strategy. I don't care. I know that if it's a B to a B plus strategy, I'm going to be okay, all right? So let's assume that it is, and it is. Then it comes down to execution. And so my goal as an entrepreneur is to get my team to execute my B to B plus strategy 100% of the time. If we're at 90% execution on a B to B plus strategy, how are we going to do?
Great.
We're going to do great. Can we move it to 95?
Yeah.
And we're going to do better.
What about on months where that wanes a little bit?
You got to get back on the process.
70, 65. You have a bad couple weeks.
No. We got to get back on this. That's what I've already answered that. When we have that occur, it's time to get back on the process. And so we would have a review session and say, well, are you doing this? And we would find out that you're not.
No.
We need to get back on the process. Jim Rohn used to say, you can't pay somebody else to do your push-ups. You got to do your push-ups. So you, as an entrepreneur, salesperson, guy, girl, you get out there in front of the customers. Are you doing that? Well, I haven't taught the customer in 3 days. Okay, well, whose fault's that? Probably not going to sell a lot of cars if you haven't talked to anybody in 3 days. So we got to get in front of the customers. And then when we do that, we got to do the process exactly the way it's supposed to be done. Are you doing that? Oh, absolutely. Well, I've been watching. No, you're not. So we're going to do some training today on the process. So the idea would be to get them back on the process. First one being get in front of some customers. Second one being do the process 100% to the best of your ability or pretty darn close. And the results will take care of themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was watching a thing the other day, interesting, and I actually, Matt shared it with me. It was about Tom Moore, who was the offensive coordinator for the great Pittsburgh Steelers teams and went on to coach all over the NFL, one of the greatest coaches ever. And it's a really neat clip that he talks about his philosophy of life. And you know what he said on the thing, and I may not be getting it exactly straight, but he said on day one of training camp at St. Vincent's College with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we're talking Terry Bradshaw, okay? Guess what they worked on? Day one, according to him, blocking and tackling. But this is Terry Bradshaw. If Terry Bradshaw has to block somebody, he better know how to do it. And he might have to, right?
Right.
He hands the ball off and somebody's coming here. He's got to get in their way or do something. And if he throws an interception, guess what he's got to do?
He's got to
He's got to bring the guy down. If he can't do that, so they worked on blocking and tackling. Terry Bradshaw? Mike Webster? John Cole? Yeah, that's what he said. And again, that's him talking, so I have to believe it. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
You really think Terry Bradshaw should be working on blocking and tackling? Yeah. Chuck Noll did.
Yeah.
Chuck Noll thought he should. And in the event that there was a situation he needed to block somebody, that he could. If there was a situation where he needed to tackle somebody, that he could. And admittedly, those situations with Terry Bradshaw were very rare. But I remember Ben Roethlisberger tackling somebody, bringing him down. It's like he saved a touchdown.
Yeah.
And, you know.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. But if he doesn't know how to do that, and he may not because he's a quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Yeah. I love the guy. But at the same time, he would agree with me. If he was listening to this right, he's right. I needed to be a better tackler. He might even say that. I needed to be a better blocker because when you hand the ball off, the guy's behind you. But meantime, somebody's coming from the other side.
Yeah, somebody's trying to get you.
You got to get in his way. Yeah. And let that running back get to the other side. But I'm not a football guy. It's rather obvious.
Right.
I'm a runner. I like the fundamentals. For me, it's all about the fundamentals. And when the results weren't what I wanted them to be, I didn't blame the economy. I didn't blame the competition. I didn't blame anybody. I blame myself. And I felt that I needed to get my team back on the fundamentals, blocking and tackling. So that's what we went to work on. Are we doing the process? Turns out we weren't. And as soon as we started doing the process again, what happened?
The needle moved.
Oh, I thought the economy was bad. Nah, you're bad. It's not the economy. It's you. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool.
Thank you, Jim.
My pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Comment below what you've learned.
Thank you.
Jim talking through the importance of the process and the importance of training on that process.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jim. We'll see you on the next episode.